Alrighty then, welcome back YouTubers. This is the Angry Nerd and we are discussing War Thunder. In this video we are going to talk briefly about the three basic views that people use in War Thunder. And these are the pilot views that I'm referring to. The three basic views are third person, cockpit, and virtual cockpit. We are currently in the third person view and we are looking at a Curtiss P-40. The third person view is behind and slightly above your aircraft. It is positioned that way so that you get a clear view of your targets when you're engaging them. However, you can adjust this view as needed. Okay, the other view, or one of the other views, the cockpit view. In this particular view, you are seated in the cockpit. You can see the canopy, the joystick, the flight controls, the wings, right? And the aircraft obstructs your view from things that you would not be able to see through the aircraft. And the next view is the virtual cockpit. You're still seated in the cockpit seat. However, your aircraft is invisible. It's like Wonder Woman's plane. So this is the virtual cockpit, and the only reference that you have to the orientation of your aircraft is a heads-up display which is in front of you. So let's switch back to the third person. Let's get this plane in the air and we will give you just a brief example of some of the strengths and some of the weaknesses of these three particular views. Everyone has their favorite, and when you're looking at the videos on YouTube from the different posters, you will see them flying and fighting in whichever is their favorite view, and some people like me switch between views sometimes. Okay, so we're going to target this truck down there and use it as our reference. In the third person view, the strengths are that you get a wide open view of the battle area. So as you are flying around your aircraft, you are able to detect and see other aircraft around because you have an unrestricted view of the battle area. Another very important strength of this view is that when you have targeted an aircraft and you go to look at that aircraft, the view automatically places your aircraft between you and your target, which allows you to easily reference what your particular plane is doing and allows you to bring your weapon or nose to bear on your target fairly easy. And while it's doing that, you are also getting a view of what is happening around. So you can not only see your target and your aircraft, but you get a pretty substantial view of the battle area that you can see if there's other enemies or what your target aircraft is doing. That is the main strength of the third person view. Now for weaknesses, I don't know that there are really any weaknesses to the third person view. The weaknesses that I find are in myself and not with the view. I like to look at my airplane too much because the graphics in this game are phenomenal. So I find myself looking at my aircraft more than my target, and it's distracting to me. The other thing is that because I am sitting behind and slightly above my aircraft, that I lose perspective on exactly how close I am to the ground when I'm going after ground targets or maneuvering very close to the ground, and sometimes I'll just get too close and fly into the ground. So, but overall, this is a very strong view. It gives you great battlefield or battle area awareness. Okay, so one of the other views is the cockpit view. In the cockpit view, you are restricted to the cockpit. You can only look around and see what you could actually see from the cockpit. So as our target is passing underneath our aircraft, you could see that our wing obstructed the view of the target on the ground. We'll demonstrate this one more time. We're looking at the target. Now it's passing under the wing, and we can't see it again until it comes back visible through the glass of the cockpit again. So even if we are turned away from the target, right, if we click track, all you do is look at the ground. You can't actually see, or look at the floor of your aircraft. You can't actually see the vehicle. So, and your view is very limited of the battle area. You have to physically look around. So in the arcade flight model, you are at a great disadvantage using the cockpit view. However, if you are flying in simulator battles, this is the only view that you have available to you. So everybody is using the same view. Now, one difference between this view and the virtual cockpit view is if I am tracking that target and I want to head that way, I know by seeing the canopy and stuff and what's in my aircraft how I need to turn my aircraft to bring my guns on bear to the target. And that's because I can use the canopy, the floor, the aircraft as a reference to the orientation of my aircraft in reference to the target. So that I can use to bring my guns to bear. Okay, the other view is the virtual cockpit, which is the Wonder Woman view, where you're sitting in the seat but you see nothing of your aircraft. This is a good hybrid between those two views, the third person and the cockpit. It allows me pretty good visibility of the battlefield, but you still have to look around with your head to get a view. But the only clue that you have to the orientation of your aircraft is the heads-up display. Let me head toward the mountain. You'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, so this is it. It gives the degree in climb or descent and an artificial horizon right there. So now we are At 0, we are not climbing, we are not descending. And as I bank to the left, you see that the heads-up display stays vertical. So that and the horizon are the only clues that I have to the attitude or orientation of my aircraft. Now, the main distractor of this particular view is that if you're maneuvering in a dogfight and you go to look at your target, you don't have a heads-up display and you don't know what your aircraft is doing, and it's very disorienting because you cannot figure out the orientation of your aircraft when you are trying to look and see what the other aircraft is doing. I have no idea how. I have to stop looking at the other aircraft to figure out what my aircraft's orientation is. And compared to the third-person view, where they can see us and see how their aircraft is oriented, the third-person view has the advantage. But with this view, I can, personally, see how close I am to the ground, and I find it easier to engage ground targets and stuff from this view. So that is a quick look at the 3 basic views that we have available in the game. And you know, what I do is I will look around the battlefield from the third-person view, and when I've selected a target and have gotten oriented in that direction and I'm getting ready to get into a fight, I will switch to the virtual cockpit view. And that is just how I play it. Everybody has their own preferences. The people who can play it from the third-person view all the time, I really appreciate that. And I watch a lot of videos on YouTube of War Thunder and people playing War Thunder. And, you know, actually I like looking at the videos from the third-person view because I like to see the aircraft that the person is flying. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. And if you like the video, like it. And if you didn't like it, don't. And if you would like to see more content from the Angry Nerd, please subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the skies. Nerd out. Thanks for watching.